early morning light breaks through silver pine. The clock on the wall says it is time. Dust on my boots from trails of...
Hi, welcome back to Following the Furrow. I'm Stephen. On today's video I just thought I'd do a little introduction, introduce myself, tell you what I'd like to do on this series, if you want to call it that, and go from there really. Right, start off, as I said, my name's Stephen. I'm 41, from Norfolk, just outside Norwich. Grew up around farming. Family had 300 acres, which was split in 2009. Me and my mum had ended up with about 190 workable, which unfortunately we lost that in 2013. Then I went back to college, or went to college I should say, which, as I said, I'm from Norfolk, so that was Eastern College, and I studied countryside management for 2 years. After that, unfortunately, my mum ended up being disabled, and I was her carer for the last, well, official carer for the last 9 years, until unfortunately June last year she passed away. I've always had, well, since it's come out in 08, I've played Farm and Sim up to the, so I've gone through every inauguration of the game, so I've seen it come from the beginning to what we've got today. So here's the plan for this series, as we're now just getting towards back to the farm. What I'm looking to do is, this is going to be ultra realistic as much as I can, through obviously game limitations. I'm also got this on ultra, or the hard difficulty, new farm, not new farmer, I forget what the setting's called, sorry, but it's hard economy, so it's realistic. We are on Fendt. We've got about 180 acres and a 15-year, £4.5 million mortgage. So what I'm going to do is, if you'd like to join me, is walk you through as if this was back when I was farming on the family farm. I'll explain what we're doing, why we do it, and hopefully, without putting off real farmers, give you an insight in what we do in the industry. Right, so you can see that we're turning the field white. We've got the 1050, what you just saw me bringing home. We're in that with a Bunnings wide boy muck spreader. We spread them long. Now why do we do it? Simple reason is, for me anyway, I'm on new land. I don't know how the previous farmer took care of it. So I've got together with the agronomist, we've done soil testing to learn what state the land is in, because soil is a living organism that needs to be looked after, because if you look after your land, the land looks after you. So my first step is we look at what's called pH level. Once we establish what that is, we go add lime if needed, because over time fertiliser will sour the land. And what I mean by that is, it's like going and sucking a lemon to eating a bar of chocolate. The land is sweetened up by the lime, which is soured over time with the fertiliser. So every few years we all have to lime if you're a good farmer, a good steward of the land. This is how farming is entwined in a way, but one of the crops you'll see me growing on here, because I've always grown, as a family we've always grown a sugar beet, and that's a product called Limex. It's actually sold by British Sugar. The last lot we bought, I think, come from Wizzy, because that come from was delivered by Roger Warnes. So then, Wissington Sugar Beet Factory up near King's Lynn. So that's why I said about Roger Warnes. But the Limex is a byproduct of the sugar beet. Getting the extraction of the sugar beet or the sugar from the sugar beet. So we apply this sort of every few years, and it will keep the land in that nice state of readiness to help get the crops established. The next part of the liming process as follows on is incorporating the lime into the land or under the surface. So I've always been brought up ploughing. It's controversial today because a lot of farmers are moving to a system called no-till or minimum tillage, and not a lot doing away with the plough, where I am unfortunately old school and been lucky enough to be brought up by the older generation that you always plough to start your crop. Now, why do we do it? First reason is you bury all the trash, all the stubble and weeds, and one of the big problems today in a lot of cereal crops is blackgrass. You bury that, turn the soil over and bury it. Another reason is you're freshening the soil. So you're opening up the soil and allowing it to breathe, going back to our living organism. Plus, a benefit of ploughing is because you plough roughly down to about a foot, which is 30 centimetres for the newer generation. I'm borderline old school and metric and imperial. But by ploughing, you've got about a foot of sponge on top of the surface. So like the heavy rains when they seem to be getting each year, it will allow that foot to soak in more water than what no-till would, or minimum tillage. Because the difference is where ploughing is about a foot, yet the no-plough ground is around about 2-3 inches at the top of the ground is disturbed when you're drilling the seed. So as I say, we're ploughing. I've got a wagon plough which is, see, compared to a fixed plough, and I'm also doing what is called on land ploughing. So there is a trench from the last furrow on the plough, so you can plough two ways. One is what's called in furrow ploughing, so your wheels are in the furrow, or what's like this, which is called on land ploughing. It's, as the name suggests, on land. Plus I'm using a plough with two presses on. It's no one way of farming is the right way or the wrong way. The way I've been brought up is you always have to press with the plough. That is, if you've got clay ground or heavy ground, it just breaks up what you've ploughed. As you can see, it's on what we have ploughed. It breaks that down. all what's left is me to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And we'll come back for the next video in which we should be drilling. Thank you.